This is a lesson on how to play one of my favourite songs, I think one of the most beautiful songs I've written, Go Down Easy by John Martyn. The important thing to start off with is getting the right tuning. So our low E string is tuned all the way down to a D. When you're tuning down, I'll just tune back up. If you're tuning down, play your open D, and then play your E string, and until it reaches D. But to get a more accurate tuning, you actually want to take it below the note, and then very, very subtly tighten it up from there. I just find that if you tune down and hit it straight away, it usually ends up slightly off, whereas if you go below the note and then stretch the string up, it usually stays more in tune. And then our B string is a C. So we do this just by playing fret 5 on string 3 on the G string. And then you have these beautiful open sounding strings. There's a lot going on in the right hand in this song. So we're going to start with our two middle fingers, fingers 2 and 3. Pianists have 5 fingers, guitarists have 4 fingers, so that's how I'll be referring to them, 1 to 4. And we find fret 10 on the A string and on the G string. And then we're going to, so with these 2 fingers, but then we're going to go down 1 fret to our first finger on fret 9. And then from there we're going to do a little hammer on onto fret 10. And these, the rest of the fingers, because we're in such open tuning, they do a picking pattern. I mean, I'm pretty sure that John Martyn played this song and most of his songs differently every time he played them. It just so happens that the versions that we know and love are the ones that he nailed in the studio that one time. He would never play a song exactly the same way live. I saw him in 1997 and he had completely reimagined a lot of his classic material. Still had a great time, but it wasn't quite what I expected. So we're going to do this little hammer on here. These 3 fingers here are just going to be playing around strings 1, 2 and 3. And we're going to start off with this low open D in the bass and then do the hammer on. Then our thumb is going to come up to the A string. So, low D, hammer on, string 5 with the A string. And these are kind of, it's almost like a kind of harp or something. I'm just going, in terms of fingers, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Just try practicing that. What's nice is that the order in which we're playing the strings, you have higher notes where you'd expect lower notes. So the 3rd string, the G string, is actually quite high. Played around with this for a while, and you can stay on here for quite a long time until you've got a sound that you're pleased with. Once you can play it, don't stop there. Sometimes I used to think, oh, as soon as I've learned what the notes are and the right order in which to play them, then see how beautifully you can play them. Like, what can you do to this fairly simple piece? I mean, the right hand is a little bit tricky if you're not used to using 3 fingers. But what can you do to make it sound more beautiful? And you may know some of these things already, but make sure that you're right up just below the fret line. If the lower down you're on the fret, the more likely you are to have buzzes. Really tiptoe those fingers. Maybe think about adding some vibrato. The guitar has an almost sort of cello-like quality up when it gets up to here. Sounds more like sort of pizzicato. Now, to do vibrato, what I would like to do is make sure the palm of your hand is completely in line with the neck. So we don't want to turn the hand to one side or the other. All that does, it allows us to wobble from the elbow. Not from the elbow, it's the whole forearm wobbles, and the fingers are staying in place. There's lots of different ways to do vibrato. You can do fast ones, slow ones. You can introduce it later, or you can do it right at the onset of the note. But once you've had a little play around with it, stop thinking about it and see where you would naturally like to put it in. Once you've had a nice little play around with that, these 2 fingers are just going to move up 1 string each closer to your face. On fret 10, on string 6 and 4. And you're just going to play around with the fingers. You can go, so thumb, D string, try them in any different order. Change. And then we're going to slide all the way down. Now I quite like it when you hear the slidey noises. Not so I don't mind squeaks and the sounds of sliding. You don't have to just get down there really quickly. And we're going all the way down to fret 2. On the D string. I'm going to do a little hammer on to fret 3. And then we're just going to play the open strings 1 and 2 around that. In fact, we're not going to play. Let's be sparing with our 2nd string here. Can sound a little bit muddy, but I quite like it. Even the guitar part makes me think of Danny Thompson's incredible double bass playing on this track. And then, sit the same sort of position that we had, these 2 fingers straddling 1 string, so to speak. That's going to be on fret 5. Of string 4 and 6. You want to avoid, I'm sort of deliberately muting the A string here. Back down to fret 2. Pretty much the whole song. Let me show you again from the beginning. lie down here, lemons in the things you bring, we can go down easy. Oh my darling, we can go down easy. Oh my lover, we can go down easy. Oh my darling, we can go There we go. I'm going to post a video of me playing this with my band Ride. And I might do a lesson on how to sing a bit more like John Martyn. Singing is a very subjective thing. I can do quite a good John Martyn impression. He does a lot of very almost seemingly lazy vocal delivery, but he's got such wonderful tones as well. It's a hard thing to have a go at, but any time you've been moving